Well, Steelers Nation, we're back at it again after a late night. That game was rough, um, just because of how late it was. It was a typical Steelers game. I'm not gonna point fingers or blame anybody about the loss. It's a loss. It's what when you play tight games like that, when you have a good defense, you're gonna lose some of these games. So break it down like I normally do. Start off offensively, go defensively, special teams, and then kind of at the end an overall uh, outlook on it. Justin Fields at quarterback, a little bit rougher of a game for him this week. 15 of 27 for 131. That's around 50% completion, a little bit over that. 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. But you can't fault him. He didn't have any bad reads, maybe a couple rough throws, but um, they were maybe a little high, but the guys got their hands on him. And you get your hands on him, you got to catch that ball. You can't. It's not on the quarterback. He's putting it where only you can get it. And he did that once with, I believe it was Fryermuth, and a couple times with Pickens. And I don't know what his deal is as our number one, but he's got to catch those balls, especially when they're where only you can catch them. But also that leads to a lack of a number two. I mean, Van Jeffers had 3 catches, and it kind of seemed like we were forcing the ball to him, and it wasn't impressive catches. It was just kind of swing routes and to the flat where that's an easy completion. Connor Hayward had a couple catches, touchdown obviously in the game, but he did have one huge drop that could have altered the game outcome. Pat with 3 receptions, very solid. I'd like to see these passing numbers go up. I'm not sure why we're handcuffing Justin. Like I said, 27 attempts seems like a lot, but we had a lot of drops on top of that as well. He did have one. Justin did have one fumble, but it was recovered. Either he fell on it or one of our guys fell on it. I don't recall. But that was offensively. He had some designed runs, and I think we have to stick with him. I don't know how we get him to start faster than he's been starting, but that's kind of been I guess a staple of a Mike Tomlin offense. They always start slow, and then towards the end of the game, they turn it up. But I don't think you can go to Russell. I think you got to stick with Justin at this point, unless he outright loses you a game. This game wasn't lost by the offense. Could they have scored more points? Yes. Did they score enough to win? Yes. Do you expect your highest paid defense to shut them down at the end? Yes. And now I'll kind of transition into defense and talk about their shortcomings. Defensively, the Steelers had no business being in this game, but they always play like that. They give up a lot of yards all the time. Not all the time. Against mediocre offenses, they don't usually do that. But Joey Porter shut down CeeDee Lamb, and then big opportunistic turnovers we used to keep us in the game. He had 2 in the red zone, 2 big turnovers in the red zone. CeeDee Lamb, he had 5 catches for 62 yards, but still, there were no big explosive plays. The big explosive plays came to other guys. We got to find someone that can work opposite a Joey Porter. We can't just keep relying on Joey Porter to shut down the number one, and then the number 2, number 3 eats us up, and then we get a lot of turnovers in the red zone. I guess I say we can't, but we've been doing it for years. It's frustrating that the defense is just paid as highly as they are, and they give up ridiculous stats. What did they end up with? Dak ended with 352, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, though. So you gotta, at the end of the game, it's coming down to them being on the field. Big, huge play by Eldon Roberts, knocking that ball loose, and then you got one Cowboy, one Steeler standing there on their feet. Miles Killebrew versus Dak Prescott. I'm not sure what Killebrew was doing. He was just kind of standing there in the pile he needed to fill. Could have came up with that ball. But then the pass rush on that last final play, you're down two of your top 3 pass rushers, and T.J. Watt's basically held together by gauze and tape out there. I'm sure he's banged up, but they're all banged up. But when you got DeMarvin, I don't even think he was out there. It wasn't. I think Leo got hurt too. So You're down your top three of your four pass rushers on the outside. Jeremiah Moon, I think, was on the opposite side of TJ Watt there. Uh, your secondary is not going to be able to hold up for as long as they did, and they got a sweeper across the goal line and ended the game. And it's a tough loss to take. Would have been a fine loss, but that hour and a half delay that killed me. Staying up till Central Time Zone, so midnight. It was a rough game to watch, but like I said, this is Steelers football. This is what we play for, and hopefully we keep at it with Justin on offense, and the defense can get healthy and get those guys back out there like we need. It's going to be a disservice to Justin if you put Russell in there at any point unless he's costing you games. I think if you're going to build, we build with Justin and just let Russell know that we're going to dress him as the 2 if he's healthy, and if he wants to get shipped off somewhere, there's lots of teams looking for quarterbacks, so we can trade him out. Special teams, really rough not having Cordell Patterson out there for kick returns. This is the one game because Aubrey is known for placing the ball in the safety zone and making you return it. Sampkin had a decent game, 4 returns for 25-yard average. Punt returns, we didn't return any punts. I don't know if they didn't punt or what the deal with that was. Maybe a lot of fair catches. I think there's a few fair catches. Boswell, 1 for 1. Automatic from 41 yards. And then Waitman, I was really excited about Johnston, but he got hurt, and then Waitman's come in and had a really good game. 2 inside the 20 out of his 5 punts, averaging 44.4 yards on that. And then, just the huge block that kind of kept us in that game. We don't get that block, it's a 1-point game, and they don't even have to try for that touchdown there towards the end. They can just win it with a field goal in the last seconds. But special teams is never really going to kill us because Boswell's automatic, and now that Waitman is an amazing punter, we'll always have a good special team. So that's what our team is built on: good special teams, good defense, and just an offense that can win you the game. The splash plays of the Killer Bees are gone, and this is Mike Tomlin's offense, defense. It's his team. This is the way he wants to play. If you don't like it, get off the bandwagon. But we are on to, I don't even know where we're going next. I think it's a New York team. But looked at the schedule. We got very, very winnable games. The next 3 for sure winnable. That's headed into the bye. Get to 6-2 headed into the bye, and that's when we have our murder row of AFC North and rough teams to play.